Welcome to this first in a series of looking at how popular world events may affect markets and how you yourself can try and look at them for the way you think financial instruments are going to move. So what are we looking at first? We'll have a look at the US elections where Donald Trump and Kamala Harris were supposedly really in a tight race and it was going to go down to the wire and possibly take weeks. But people in the markets will have been planning ahead and thinking what is going to happen based on the policies that they've already said and the stances that they've made in the media.
We will deliver low taxes, low regulations, low energy costs, low interest rates, and low inflation so that everyone can afford groceries, a car, and a home.
So we can start thinking what possibly will move, what are going to be the winners and losers in advance, and we need to be ready to take advantage of that before it happens. So what did Trump stand for? He was talking about de-escalating conflicts around the globe, freeing markets from regulation, looking to support the technology market, putting tariffs into people who are exporting into the US, so imports coming in, cryptocurrencies to be backed, particularly Bitcoin, etc. Something that would please Elon Musk.
Take over, relied, yes, take over.
So let's have a look now at what exactly happened in the financial markets after Trump was amazingly seen to have had a clean sweep across the board and is all set to be able to implement just about all of his policies.
Hey, look what happened. Is this crazy?
So first of all, the dollar, the DXY index, as you can see on this chart, it went boom, didn't it? Look, it jumped up from 103.4 to 105.4 almost instantly on the result. And that is people suggesting that two things. One, the confidence in investing back in America, but also in the fact that a lot of his policies are deemed in advance to be inflationary, the tariffs, etc. So the knee-jerk reaction is that there'll be fewer interest rates potentially. So the dollar showed some strength. In a similar vein, bond markets, you'll have heard of those, and bond yields. So when interest rates are going to be high and the dollar's high, then the bond yields tend to go higher as well. And look, we had that, the bonds at the top of its recent trading channel, 4%, and that is a worry. Markets, particularly in the US, don't like it when interest rates go towards 5%, so we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Gold, which has been one of the biggest winners this year, up over 35%, that was hit on the strong dollar, on the strong yields. They often react negatively to those, but also geopolitics. We talked about Trump potentially de-escalating conflicts around the globe. That would take away the risk avoidance premium that you get from investing in things like gold and oil itself. That's had a risk premium attached. And what happened to that? Instantly, overnight, look, that dropped down, but has since been quite a mixed reaction. It's very early before Trump takes control of the country, etc. So there'll be a lot going on in the last quarter, but the knee-jerk reaction, the one you'd expect, was down. And finally, on the way of looking at de-escalating markets, people were prepared. They were sat ready for anything that was related to the Ukraine war. What could happen there if that's going to be stopped early by Trump? Remember, he said it could stop on day one. For Expo, that's an iron ore pellet manufacturer inside Ukraine. They've been struggling price-wise for a while, but look, that had a jump. It was up 33% at one point early yesterday morning. It's since, if you look at the chart, it's given up some of those gains. But again, that is down to timing and obviously how much can Donald Trump influence the Ukraine war before he's even taken the reins in January. So America will be great again. Donald keeps saying that, and he's going to usher in a load of deregulation. Where does that help? Well, it's going to make it very easy for you to borrow money and start up your business. So who benefits from that? The banks. And just look at that financial index. That went through the roof. Renewables, we've all heard Trump voice his concerns about the policies around the globe on climate change, etc., and its responses. He's potentially going to rein in some of the renewables projects that are out there, and just look at how that fell on the back of that all around the globe. But this was a US index, renewables through the floor. What he do need to keep an eye on, though, is sectors that he does like, the technology and crypto. They are so dependent now with the data centers and the Bitcoin miners for very cheap power. So somewhere along the line, there's going to have to be a bit of to and fro on those regulations around renewables. And hence, that might be an opportunity for that market to rally. That's another way of thinking. It's not just going to be there for a day. Is it giving you an opportunity? And outside that, technology, NASDAQ, look at that. That hit an all-time high yesterday on the back of Trump coming in. Within that, Tesla, a little bit of a reward for Elon's support, up 15%. And then the daddy boy, the one front and center involving Musk, crypto that is now on the verge of breaking out. I've made some arguments about liquidity. There's lots of people out there talking about the free money situations in the world, and also the fact that we've now got one of the major powers backing it. Crypto set to break out, and it was one of the first to show a big move yesterday. So that's just a nice basic introduction into the way that you should be thinking. I've heard this man speak. What's he saying? Will that have an effect on related financial instruments? And then from a totally mixed, totally coin toss of a market, Donald Trump seems to win. And that's my last point. There are other ways of looking at markets, and often they say follow the money, and where else to follow it than the betting markets? I don't know if you came across the story, but Polymarket had a big French bettor at the start of October who put on something like 28 million on a Trump win. The media tried to tell you that that was just distorting the odds of a Trump win, but let's just look at what that chart looked like after the bet was placed. So just look, once that betting money had all settled into going into the election, it was over 60% chance of Donald Trump winning, 66% versus 33% for Kamala Harris. And the way that the vote has come out, not a million miles away. So when people are postulating and giving you all this opinion and may not be biased, sometimes literally go to the money, pure money. When that's involved, that's often where the real sentiment exists. Anyway, that's all in the mix, and I hope you found that useful in just helping you frame how fundamentals can actually sit at one with the real world. So if you are interested in how fundamentals work in the financial markets, CFDs, crypto, indices, gold, commodities, you name it, we're always putting out content on the Alpha channels on YouTube, or you can come and join us at Alpha and come and get involved in the Discord. We have weekly live shows where you can also interact with me, and no question is too dumb. Please don't think that this is all highbrow. We're trying to make it as simple as we can for you, but equally, if you want to dive deep, then we're ready to go.